I'm coming in hot.
Hey family, my name is Ziga.
And I'm Treasure, and we are finally here with our very first video. And like we said, we'll be posting every Friday at 6 p.m.
As young adults, we've recognized that we need a platform where we can come and talk about these issues. I mean, life can get hard sometimes, but there is a but. We have recognized that having a platform where we can come and talk about these issues can actually help us win, like in anything that we do, in any sphere that we go into. I mean, we can get experts to come and help us win in these spaces. We'll be talking about finances, we'll be talking about identity, we'll be talking about relationships, we'll be talking about a lot of things. So you definitely don't want to miss out. Our topic for today though will touch just a bit on identity. So let's dive right into it. Identity. What does the word identity mean? What does it mean to you? What does it mean to me, to us as a collective? We'd like to know your answers. Please do comment down below so that we get the idea of like what you think that looks like. Treasure, what do you think identity is?
Well, what do I think identity is? I think identity is the simplest definition. It's who you are, but then it's kind of difficult because how do you know who you are? Who tells you who you are? What makes you who you are? You know, because we come from different cultures, we come from different backgrounds, we've had different experiences that have shaped who we are. So let's dissect the truth. Let's look into the truth of who we are. I think that's what we're trying to do today.
Nice.
Yeah.
So going back to the source is basically how we can find our identity.
Exactly. Going back to the source.
I think in that light, maybe it's wise for us to like take a look at scripture and just read a little. So in Genesis 1, when God was created everything, he was like, yo, everything is dope, everything is beautiful, but then at the end of the day, he looked at it and was just like, nah, something missing, right?
Yeah.
And then let's start from verse 25. God made the beast of the earth after his kind, cattle after their kind, and everything after his kind. God saw that it was good, right? And then in verse 26, God said, let us make man in our own image, after our likeness. Let us have them have dominion over the earth, over every living creature that exists on the earth. So this is basically God saying, listen, I need to make an image, an ambassador, a reflection of who I am on earth, because this cannot be complete if you and I are not
in it. I love how you started in verse 25, because in verse 25 it starts off and it says that he made the beast of the earth after his kind, the cattle after its kind. Then he comes in verse 26 and then he says, let us make men in our own image. That gives me the idea that I am God's kind.
Yeah.
He made me in his image. That's who I am.
That's
you
your
know,
identity.
that's my identity.
Yeah.
You get me? So I am God's kind.
That is true. That is true. I really love how we as people have now a mirror where we can actually compare and really say, hey, this is what truth is. You know, I'm not my culture, I'm not my background, I'm made in God's image.
That's the thing. The culture, the background, it didn't make you. I'm not saying it did not have an effect on your life or didn't give you some kind of idea of who you are, but that's just it was just an idea. It wasn't truth. It was an idea of who you are, because they didn't make you. You're not here because there's a verse, man. I don't know where it is, I forgot. I may not quote it as it is, but I'll just try and paraphrase. It talks about you were born not of human decision. You were born not out of a man's willingness, you know. You were born of God. You come from him. So don't let then a man decide who you are if a man didn't even create you. Oh, my ladies, did you get that?
I love how you just switched. Well,
Woman. Yeah.
Hey, I almost said Adam was tailored first, but anyways, we ain't gonna get into that.
No.
I think for me, more than anything, the idea that, you know, we're living this life and we have a creator. I think anything that has ever been designed or anything that has ever been created, the person who created it had a purpose for it.
Yeah.
And I think that's what having this discussion about identity and all that, I think it also incorporates purpose and all that. So we'll dive into that probably in our next session.
Yeah.
Because when you look at the verse here in verse 26, it says, let them have dominion, which means God is a God of everything.
Yeah.
Like, his name is above all
He
else,
has
you know?
dominion himself. So if we are made in the image of dominion, in the image of authority, then he gives us the dominion. Obviously, we have the dominion.
I mean,
yeah.
So this is to say, you as a young adult, you've been created to be a person of dominion here on earth. I don't care what you're doing, I don't care where you are in life, I don't care. You've been created to have dominion in whatever space that you're in. And we are here to help you achieve that, to help you get into a place where you're able to fulfill the purpose that God has created you to fulfill, and for you to also walk in the identity of who God is.
I love that, walking in the identity of who God is. Yeah,
I mean, you basically are an expression of who God is here on earth. We know and understand that we are made differently because, you know, there can only be one creation.
Exactly. And that's the beautiful thing. God is inexhaustible. He says, I am the great I am. He doesn't have a specific character to who he is. Vele angeke sifane, because the God that we serve is not the same. He's not one. He's not a one-sided coin or whatever you call it.
Deep.
Yeah.
That's deep. I think this is a really dope topic, and I'd love for us to continue with this on our next session.
Well, that's it for today. We will see you in our next video where we'll carry on identity. So please subscribe if you haven't. Click that notification bell and share.
And have a discussion about it. Tell us what you think about it
on the
afterwards.
comments. And anything that you'd like to hear on identity or anything else, and we'll address it in the next
questions, we are here for you.
Yeah.
Let's go.